still going to be stuck with how do we get the resources, or how do we enable those outlying fire districts to tap into the resources that they need to do their work. And, you know, there are a number of options that are being looked at, and I think that this board has always taken fire protection very seriously. It's been one of our top legislative priorities at the state level. So I think there's a number of things that are going to need to happen and we're going to have to look at. But, you know, today here we are faced with something that we brought forward in the form of an ordinance a number of years ago that empowers you to do that. And I think that you've done the appropriate study. You've looked at it. Clearly, your board members are here. They must be supportive of it. So that's why I made the motion to continue and go forward.
Okay.
Thank you.
Allison Glassy, please.
Allison Glassy, Assistant CEO. This might be an opportunity for a brief update on the Fire Services Work Group that the board set in motion, I don't know, about 2 months ago or so. And Dan Grable is one of the members of that group, along with Chief Tunzi, the Fort Bragg Fire Chief.
Chief 4C, and Chief Little from Laytonville.
Yeah, although he's always been at Planning Commission meetings, so we've kind of got him coming and going here. Anyway, we've had 2 meetings. The third meeting was canceled due to fire, and we are in the process of scheduling our next meeting. But one of the approaches that we've used is to kind of do a list of what all the options and tools are, and certainly these fire mitigation fees are a tool, and the board, in response to their past interactions with the fire chiefs, put that forward. And so you've got a fire district taking advantage of that at this point, which was exactly what you intended to do. So the next thing we're looking at is how this can be addressed. In some cases, I mean, certainly we're looking at how the county budget process fits with that, but we're also looking at other options, and I would say we're probably good for one more meeting of the group to really narrow down on what we want to focus on. And then we would meet with the board ad hoc committee that was earlier referenced that's been dealing with fire, and then ultimately make a recommendation to the board as a whole. So that group is working and definitely supports this effort as part of a larger effort to look at the partnership between the county and the fire districts.
Thank you, Allison. Supervisor Pinches.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, to move this along, I think everybody in this room understands how I feel about fees, but I don't want you to think I'm getting soft, but I'm going to support this.
Well, I guess ice does melt in a certain location, so that's appreciated, Supervisor Pinches. Just comment from the chair. This past month has truly been historic in Mendocino County, and I've directed the assistant and the CEO to look towards the positives, to see what we've done correctly, to see where we can move into the future, modernizing the entire system as a positive result of this disaster that we've survived. And so this is, as Ms. Glassy pointed out, a part of that. And every fire district, if they had the ability under this law, would have to come before us and ask for approval. Some will not ever be able to do that unless we look at them in that global picture of county-wide system. And some will, and some will probably follow in quick succession after this district. But it is appropriate that this district be the first one, with the possibility of the impacts of growth being centered by state mandate with 50-acre rezoning, the impacts of developers, possibility coming to the valley, et cetera, that this district be the first one to step forward to do it. And although I am not a great believer in fees also, in certain regards, I would vote for this type of a fee every day of the week compared to some of the other ones that the state is cramming down our throat. Wind studies, snow loading, give me a break. So in regards to common sense, this single issue agency deserves the respect by the support of the board of this supervisors, county supervisors, in passing this ordinance today. And it was conducted and conceived on a local autonomous basis. They're looking for concurrence of that. Any battle, any fight, any concern should have taken place at their district meetings. And changes were made at those district meetings from their district board hearing the concerns of the public. So I think this is, it's a correct direction for the board to be moving, and I would certainly like to see a 100% vote in the approval of this situation. So unless there is more discussion by my fellow board members, I'll call for the vote, and just for historical significance, I'd like to do it on the buttons. So I'll call for the vote at this time.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Board.
Thanks, guys. Mr. CEO, are we ready to backstep to the previous hearing, or do we still need additional time for that?
Let me check with staff. I'll get back to you in just a second.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, well, hold off on that. Let's move ahead with item 6E, discussion possible action, including approval of an agreement with West Yost Associates in the amount of $99,835 for a program-level water supply assessment of the UVAP and the program environmental impact report.
Hello again. Allison Glass, the Assistant CEO. Remember how much you just said you liked that last study, so, well, anyway. It's an attempt at humor.
Careful, careful.
Really.
That's not even funny, Allison.
Don't provoke the animals.
We're not asking for
See, you
fee.
give them an inch and they take a mile.
Well, your last two items were fee increases. We're not asking for a fee increase. Anyway, I'm going to quit while I'm ahead, and...
Yes, please.
Oh. I broke these out, and then I... So what I'd like to start out with is, because people have asked questions about the timeframes, I figured I'd start off with that. You should be used to this document now. The one I gave you yesterday, just so you know, I made all the print on the right side of the sheet white, and that's why it didn't show up. And so I have put it back now. So what you see on the column underneath general plan update is basically what you saw yesterday. And I'm not going to go over the coastal plan updates column or the housing elements column because those are not in front of us right now. I'll review those the next time one of those comes forward. But I think that you can certainly look down and see some previews, and it does preview the August 18th board workshop that's listed under the housing element.